I ranked every major sports GOAT debate by how absolutely unhinged the fan bases get. And number one will genuinely surprise you. We're talking death threats, Wikipedia wars, people losing friends over this. Stay till the end. It gets scary. Yo, what is good? Smallwipe here. Every sport has a GOAT debate, but not every GOAT debate is created equal. Some are civilized, some are academic, and some will get you actually canceled if you say the wrong name in the wrong city. Today I'm ranking every major sports GOAT debate from chill to absolutely unhinged. We're going through football, basketball, tennis, NFL, boxing, golf, Formula One, and cricket. 8 sports, one tier list. Let's build it. Before we start, here's how I'm scoring each debate. 5 categories: social media meltdowns, how many GOATs are actually in the conversation, whether location affects your answer, how long the debate has been going, and finally, have people actually lost relationships over this? Each category scores out of 10, and based on the total, they go straight into the tier list. S tier is reserved for genuinely unhinged. D tier means it's barely even a debate. Let's build this thing. Starting at the bottom, golf. Now before you click off, hear me out. Tiger Woods versus Jack Nicklaus. 15 majors versus 18 majors. That's basically the whole debate. Tiger has the cultural dominance, the era argument, the physical transformation of the sport. Nicklaus has the numbers, and golf fans, they argue about it. But here's the thing. They argue about it over a glass of wine at a country club. Nobody's getting ratioed on Twitter over Tiger versus Jack. Nobody's losing a friendship. It's a respectful disagreement between people who probably drive the same car. Social media meltdowns, 2 out of 10. Number of GOATs in the debate, 2, maybe 3 if you squeeze Rory in, 3 out of 10. Location affecting your answer, barely, 2 out of 10. Length of debate, decent, been going since 2000, 5 out of 10. Lost relationships, absolutely 0, 1 out of 10, 13 out of 50. That is a hard D tier. Next, Formula One. Schumacher versus Hamilton, 7 titles each. And this one actually has some bite to it because it splits generationally. If you grew up in the 90s, Schumacher is untouchable. If you grew up in the 2000s, Hamilton is the answer. And then Senna gets thrown in by the purists who watched races on VHS. But here's why it stays relatively calm. Most F1 fans accept that the car matters. You can't fully separate the driver from the machine, and most people know that. So the debate has a natural ceiling on toxicity. Nobody's calling Schumacher fans racists. Nobody's getting their account suspended. It's spicy, but it's manageable spicy. Social media meltdowns, 4 out of 10. Number of GOATs, 3 serious contenders, 5 out of 10. Location affecting your answer, yes, European fans skew Schumacher, British fans skew Hamilton, 5 out of 10. Length of debate, ongoing since 2020, 5 out of 10. Lost relationships, rare, 2 out of 10, 21 out of 50. Still D tier, but at least it has a pulse. Cricket. Now, if you're not from a cricket country, this might surprise you, but this debate gets regional in a way no other sport does. Sachin Tendulkar versus Lara versus Don Bradman. And depending on which country you're from, one of those names is basically a god and the other 2 are just good players. In India, Sachin is the GOAT, full stop, not a discussion, don't even bring up Bradman. In the West Indies, Lara. In Australia, Bradman, who averaged 99.94 with the bat, which is statistically the most dominant individual performance in any sport ever. The toxicity here isn't Twitter meltdowns, it's national identity. You're not just arguing about cricket, you're arguing about culture. And that makes it quietly one of the most dangerous debates on this list. Social media meltdowns, 5 out of 10. Number of GOATs, 3 clear ones, 6 out of 10. Location affecting your answer, massively, arguably more than any sport, 9 out of 10. Length of debate, decades, 7 out of 10. Lost relationships, yes, especially at family dinners in Mumbai, 5 out of 10. 32 out of 50. That earns a C tier, quietly dangerous. The NFL, Tom Brady versus everyone. And honestly, this one should be lower on the list because Brady has 7 Super Bowls and the argument is kind of settled statistically. But the reason it makes top 5 is because Brady's political opinions, his TB12 brand, his personality, they've made him one of the most polarizing figures in American sports history. Half of America thinks he's the greatest winner in human history. The other half genuinely cannot stand him and will argue that his offensive lines, his teams, his coaches, all of it was propping him up. And the Montana crowd is still there, loud, stubborn, refusing to move. Add in the fact that NFL Twitter is already one of the most chaotic places on the internet, and this one earns its spot. Social media meltdowns, 6 out of 10. Number of GOATs, 3 serious contenders, Brady, Montana, Manning, 5 out of 10. Location affecting your answer, massively, New England versus everywhere else, 7 out of 10. Length of debate, peak 2017 to 2023, 6 out of 10. Lost relationships, yes, Thanksgiving tables were destroyed, 6 out of 10, 30 out of 50, C tier. Brady carried the toxicity ceiling alone. Boxing, and this one is different because there's no clean answer, ever. Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. You can't even compare them directly because they fought in different eras, different weight classes, different styles, and that ambiguity, that's what makes the boxing fan base absolutely feral, because every argument ends in a stalemate. Ali fans say he's the greatest who ever lived. Full stop, cultural icon, transcended sport. Mayweather fans say 50-0, never lost, pound-for-pound perfection. Tyson fans don't argue with words, they just get louder, and nobody ever wins. The debate has no resolution, which means it never ends, which means the toxicity never decreases, it just accumulates forever. Social media meltdowns, 7 out of 10. Number of GOATs, 5 or 6 serious contenders, 8 out of 10. Location affecting your answer, yes, heavily American-centric, but global voices too, 6 out of 10. Length of debate, been going since the 1970s, 9 out of 10. Lost relationships, absolutely yes, 7 out of 10. 37 out of 50. We're into B tier, no debate ever truly dies in boxing. Tennis, and we are now entering the danger zone. Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, the big 3, 20-plus Grand Slams each. 3 completely different playing styles, 3 completely different personalities, and 3 of the most devoted, passionate, occasionally unhinged fan bases in sport. Here's what makes tennis uniquely toxic. The fans have been watching this debate unfold in real time for 20 years. They've lived through every chapter. Federer fans watch their guy get overtaken on slams and refuse to accept it. Nadal fans watch their guy destroy Federer on clay for a decade and still get overlooked. And Djokovic fans watch the most statistically dominant player of all time get hated by the media and casual fans, and that injustice made them fierce. Add in Djokovic's COVID controversy, Federer's retirement tears, Nadal's injury battles. This debate has actual emotional stakes for millions of people worldwide. It's not just sport, it's personal. Social media meltdowns, 8 out of 10. Number of GOATs, 3 absolute equals, 9 out of 10. Location affecting your answer, yes, Europe goes crazy for this, 7 out of 10. Length of debate, 20 years and counting, 9 out of 10. Lost relationships, genuinely yes, tennis Twitter is a battlefield, 7 out of 10. 40 out of 50. First a tier of the day. Tennis Twitter is not to be underestimated. Number 2, the NBA. And if you've spent 5 minutes on basketball Twitter, you already know. MJ versus LeBron. The most exhausting, most repetitive, most ferocious GOAT debate in American sports history. And here's what makes it different from every other debate on this list. It has crossed over from sports into culture. This isn't just a basketball argument anymore. It's about era. It's about rings. It's about stats versus eye test. It's about whether championships are the only currency or whether longevity matters. Jordan fans are allergic to context. LeBron fans are allergic to rings as the only metric, and neither side is moving. Ever. The debate has spawned entire YouTube channels, podcasts, Reddit threads with 10,000 comments, Twitter spaces that go 4 hours with no resolution. People have ended friendships. People have blocked family members. A man once told me he didn't speak to his brother for 2 weeks after an argument about this. That's real. Social media meltdowns, 9 out of 10. Number of GOATs, 2 dominant names with Kareem, Wilt, and Magic lurking, 7 out of 10. Location affecting your answer, Chicago versus everywhere, 6 out of 10. Length of debate, 30 years, 9 out of 10. Lost relationships, absolutely, documented, confirmed, 9 out of 10, 40 out of 50. Joint A tier with tennis. But watch this, because football is about to do something to this tier list. Number 1, and you already knew, football, Messi versus Ronaldo. The greatest sporting rivalry debate in human history. And I want you to think about the scale of this for a second. We are talking about 2 billion active football fans worldwide. 2 billion people who have an opinion on this. The debate has been going for 15 years. It has its own Wikipedia page. It has academic papers written about it. It has caused actual physical altercations in pubs, restaurants, schools. People have been fired from jobs for posting the wrong take. Children have been bullied in playgrounds over this. I am not exaggerating. This debate has permeated every corner of planet Earth in a way no other sporting argument ever has or probably ever will. And here's what makes it uniquely nuclear. Both sides have genuine ammunition. Ronaldo fans point to 5 Ballon d'Ors, goals in every league, physical perfection, the work ethic, the numbers. Messi fans point to the World Cup, the Copa America, 8 Ballon d'Ors, the Barcelona era, the fact that Pep Guardiola once said he was the best he'd ever seen, and Pep managed both of them. And neither side is wrong, which is exactly why it never ends. You can't kill this debate. It is immortal. And then, just when you think it might finally settle, a third name appears. Zidane, Ronaldinho, Pelé, Maradona. And suddenly it's not Messi versus Ronaldo anymore. It's Messi versus Ronaldo versus a ghost. And the whole thing explodes again. Social media meltdowns, 10 out of 10. It's the reason Twitter almost collapsed in 2022 after the World Cup. Number of GOATs, technically 2 dominant names, but the legacy names never go away, 8 out of 10. Location affecting your answer, massively. Argentina, Portugal, Spain, England, Brazil all have different answers, 10 out of 10. Length of debate, 15 years and absolutely no sign of stopping, 10 out of 10. Lost relationships, yes, confirmed globally at every level of society, 10 out of 10. 48 out of 50. That is the only S tier on this board. It's not close, it never was. So here's the final tier list. D tier, golf and Formula 1, civilized, almost boring. C tier, cricket and the NFL, regional chaos, real stakes but containable. B tier, boxing, eternal, unresolvable, dangerously close to A tier, tennis and basketball. 2 of the most exhausting debates on the internet. And S tier, 1 entry, 1 sport, football, Messi versus Ronaldo. The only GOAT debate that transcends sport entirely. Drop in the comments where you'd move anything. And tell me your GOAT. I'm Smallwipe. See you in the next one.